Good morning and welcome to the most famous podcast of the year. Teach Me Bees.
That's right.
I'm your host, Dave Westcott. I've got with me co-host Scott the Beekeeper, a.k.a. Simba.
Greatest movie ever.
Is that how you say his name? Simba?
Yeah. Yep.
Simba.
Absolutely.
Well, today we're talking about types of hives, and you can see that I was out in the rain this morning because I'm hailing from Western Washington, where the rain is fierce and the women are burly. And
the rain is always present, you know?
That's right. It's kind of like being in Alaska. I'm watching this show, True Detective. Are you watching True Detective?
No, I've heard of it. I know loosely what it is.
Ralph, are you watching True Detective?
Yes, I am.
True Detective is actually pretty stinking good.
It's amazing. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
It's some I won't say that it's good television, like from a moral standpoint,
Well written.
but it's good
Well
television.
produced.
I mean, like it's a crazy
Quality.
freaking show, man.
Every episode, you're going, "What's going on?"
In the last episode, I actually had to turn the lights on. I was like, well, that's a little bit creepy. I got to turn the lights on. I don't really want to sit in
How
the
deep
dark.
into the show are you?
I'm 4 episodes.
Yeah, it's only
Okay.
4 episodes.
They've done a really good job with this episode. They're up in Alaska
Okay.
where the women are burly
Okay.
and the weather is fierce.
What is the premise of the show for those who have never seen it? If you can summarize.
Well, it's, the thing is about this show is it's a little crazy.
It is.
It's about detectives, hence
Okay.
the name True Detectives. So in each season, they've got a series of detectives. These detectives are typically larger star detectives. Like season 1 was Matthew McConaughey
Yep.
and Woody Harrelson.
Okay.
What a fantastic combination that is.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I just want to. That's better than football, man. So
I don't know about
you
that,
know,
but they might be related.
No, trust
Did you know
me,
that?
it's better than football. I don't know if they're related or not, and
It looks so similar.
I don't know if that's a thing from the South or what. I'm not going to talk smack on Matthew McConaughey today.
That's right.
My fellow Texan brother.
All right.
All right. Nobody eats and talks and looks better than Matthew McConaughey.
No one.
I mean, he can crush a crab and look good and talk while doing it.
Disgusting.
Right?
Not fair.
I'm not going to argue with it.
I mean, it's just McConaughey, right? It's like, wow, this guy, something special.
He is.
So you get those two together in a detective show, and it's like wildly crazy. And then the second episode had Colin Farrell in it.
Mm-hmm.
Colin Farrell in it, and he's
Okay.
and it had the big guy Vince Vaughn
It's fun. And Rachel McAdams.
and Rachel McAdams.
Wow, this is stacked
And
cast.
that was a heck of a season 2. Like season 2 was good too, and then season 3 had
Mahershala Ali.
I think so.
And who else? I can't remember the other person.
Season 3 was good too.
It was good.
okay. All right.
I'm just gonna say it out there.
Not as well known, but
the
good.
stars weren't like it wasn't like Matthew McConaughey
Yeah.
style, right? But
Okay.
but this one leads with Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
how can you not lead with Jodie Foster? I mean, this could be Clarice Starling from Silence of the Lambs. I don't even
Oscar
know
winner.
what's going on.
Okay.
Oscar winner. She's crushing it in this show. And so basically there's like this underlying Wiccan kind of evil happening in each of these episodes, or maybe not in season 2 as much, but definitely in season 1 there's like some witch doctoring happening or something like that is going on.
So supernatural elements are
No,
at
I
play.
wouldn't say supernatural. It's just like evil.
Evil.
The,
Okay.
the presence of evil, right? Like I haven't seen them go on the ledge where it's like, yeah, this is a little hokey, but it's like, you could definitely imagine these things happening,
Okay.
right? So it's like very kind of,
So each season they're solving a crime.
they're solving some kind of crime, right? Yes, some kind of crime. And so in this particular season, they're out in Alaska.
Okay.
And they're out in this very rural mining town where they do not have bees. Such a bummer, but it's okay. And currently we're on episode 4 where we're in the 6th or the 7th day of night. So you know that in Alaska, there's periods of time where it's night all day long and all night long. There's no
Yep,
sun.
I've heard of this. Yep.
And then in the summertime, there's
Sounds
periods
wild.
of time where there's all sun and no night, right? So it's just, so they're in a period of night. And they're in this mining town, and there's this environmental aspect of these miners who have poisoned the water, and we've got this thing going on where people are dying and stillborn babies and whatever. And I believe stuff like that happens. And so you got that kind of going on, and then you got this like research center out in the middle of nowhere with these guys, and something happens to them where they get scared to death.
Don't spoil
and they
everything.
die.
This is
And I'm not spoiling anything.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
All
not
right,
spoiling
all right.
anything.
I'm not spoiling anything. And they get frozen into like these crazy naked sculptures. And now they brought them into the middle of this ice rink, and they're watching them to see what happens. And they're trying to solve the murder of how did these guys die. And it's this crazy, twisting story of
Well, you've piqued my interest. I'll tell you that
just
much.
like wildness and craziness. And the moral of the story is you want to live in the right type of a house, because I saw a lot of guys living in very rough houses, which ties in today's topic of, and that's a really forced push right
That's
there.
right. Our
But-
type of hives, bee houses, if you will.
That might
Where
be
do
the
the
best
bees
phrase
the
that
bee
you lived on
house,
this
the
podcast.
bee house is a hive, sure, but it's still a house. I
Yeah.
mean, if you look at the flow hive, that is a particular type of beehive that is on the market today. Dude, this thing looks like, a 4-door mansion down in, Southern Oregon, right? So, like,
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
let's start here.
sure, we can start here with flow hives, but True Detective,
Yeah,
I'm giving it some props on the show.
that's your go-to right now. It's good.
My go-to shows for the year have been Bosch Legacy. Love it. It's one of my faves of all time, which was Bosch first. And then Reacher.
Okay.
Was off the charts. And you know which one I'm into now is I'm also watching Bass Reeves, Lawman Bass Reeves. This show's actually good.
Okay.
That's one of the Yellowstone spinoffs, isn't it?
I don't know
Or
if
say
it's
by
a
the same
yellow.
guy.
It's by the same guy. It's
Yeah.
a Western. It's about a guy who was a
Okay.
slave. He gets freed. He becomes a lawman, shoots a guy through the face. I mean, it's
Yeah.
I don't know.
Super good. Yeah.
It's the Westerns, it's Western
Like that Western
civilization.
vibes. Yeah.
I love Westerns. I love that they've revived Westerns.
It's good.
All right. So
back to
what's really important
topic at
here,
hand
and
here.
it's bees.
That's
and and the biggest question is like, when am I recouping my owed lunches?
You got to cash in on that, man. You got to let me know.
So Super Bowl is coming up.
Are we going to put something on the Super Bowl?
Well, I don't know listen, my mom is from
This
Kansas
is the
City.
worst matchup possible. No one wants this matchup
Actually, that's not true.
unless you live in California or Kansas City.
A lot of people love this
The
matchup.
world wanted the Lions, and everybody's tired of the Chiefs.
The Lions going to the Super. They're tired of the Chiefs. Why? Because they're so good.
Yes. The same reason they're tired of Brady and the Patriots.
Well, they got a long way to go before they get to that level of dominance.
Okay. Well, they're
Because, dude,
they're starting out well.
I mean, it was like 16 or 17 years of dominance.
Yes.
And they've got like 5 years of dominance in KC. I will say though that they beat the Bills again, right? Which like the Bills are supposed to be
Yep.
the team, but they just can't get it done. So the Bills have opportunity to beat them every year.
It's like Peyton Manning with the Colts.
And Peyton Manning,
We're just reliving this.
he's kind of a failure in my opinion.
Ouch.
But
Ouch.
whatever. And then you've got the guys down in Baltimore.
Yeah, they can't get it done either.
They can't get it done. Like, come on, man. Like, they've got the opportunities. That quarterback down there is a good quarterback,
Lamar's great.
but he just can't get it done.
It's the Mahomes mountain that can't be climbed.
Actually, this
It's
is
not just
this
the hump,
is
it's the mountain.
this is what I think. I think that great quarterbacks paired with great coaches make incredible football teams. I believe that if you put Patrick Mahomes down in any other team, without Andy Reeves, it might not be the same. Might not be winning, might not be having the same thing.
They'd be a playoff team because he's that good.
Yeah, they would be a playoff team, but I don't believe they'd have the same.
It's the combo.
The same thing, right? Like you look at all the great coaches, Bill Walsh and, Joe Montana, great combination.
Yeah.
You look at Jimmy Jones, right? Jimmy Jones, right? Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson, that's right.
Jimmy Johnson, Texas.
Jimmy Johnson. What was I thinking? I was thinking about sandwiches. See, I'm hungry. Jimmy John's. I was thinking about Jimmy John's. But you got Jimmy Jones and Troy Aikman.
Johnson.
What did I say? Jimmy Johnson. I'm gonna name a beehive after this guy. Jimmy Johnson and Troy Aikman. Great combination. You got Belichick and Brady.
Yep.
Another fantastic combination. Look at Belichick really hasn't done a lot without Brady.
It's true.
So I think that like Andy Reeves and Patrick Mahomes, they have something special. They just have this thing and they're able to get it done. And I think it's a special thing. And maybe we're seeing the same thing in San Francisco with
Shanahan and Purdy.
Yeah, Shanahan and what's his name? Brody?
Purdy.
So
let's right here, right now, live. You can't take it back. Evidence is here. Who are you picking?
This is a tough thing for me because my mother is from Kansas City.
Which, by the way, they have some fantastic barbecue in Kansas City.
Do you know what the best barbecue place in the world is in Kansas City?
LC's.
No.
Yep.
Have you ever been to Bryant's?
I believe I have. I've been to KC once and had like 4 days straight of barbecue.
Bryant's is like the greatest barbecue sauce and barbecue you'll ever have in your life. Place is like 100 years old.
Okay. So are you taking KC then?
Well, I love KC, and I always root for KC because my grandma's from KC. I've been to KC. My uncles are KC people. My cousins work for the
he's setting us up for
the the Kansas City Chiefs football club.
Okay.
So like my cousin Brian worked for the Royals and the Chiefs. So
that's
like
cool.
There's some strong ties there with I love KC, okay?
Yep.
But I grew up in San Francisco. I lived in a little town outside of San Francisco called Pacifica, right on the coast. And we grew up in San Francisco in the 1980s with the King, right?
The
Joe Montana,
days.
Right? Like, I mean, we lived and experienced Joe Montana winning Super Bowls and then Steve Young coming in and winning one Super Bowl. So like, I mean, our 49ers, we love the 49ers is deep, man. We are 49er fans to the hilt. So I'm freaking torn. So the last time this happened in 2020, it was awesome then too, but I was wearing my Joe Montana jersey and my Chiefs beanie.
All right, so who are you?
I'm so torn.
Who are you taking? Who's winning the game? Not who do you want, but who's winning the game?
Well, it's a tough question. I almost went to the Super Bowl. So I'm sitting there and I'm buying my hotel, right?
For this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm buying my hotel and I'm like, okay, I'm about to hit order and I'm like, man, I should just check the prices of the tickets because I'm thinking like $3,000, $4,000 a ticket, something like that. And I'm like, okay, I'll swing that. And because it's about experiences, not money. And so I go on and I look at the tickets and money begins to trump experiences at this point because the cheapest ticket that I can find on both StubHub and Ticketmaster is $8,500.
That's when money trumps experiences.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Be reasonable.
If it was me going with a group of friends who had the cash flow to float their way, I'd go. I'd pay the $8,500 for the ticket. But when I'm taking my son, that means I'm eating his $8,500 ticket because he ain't paying for it. And then, if I bring another friend who doesn't have like that kind of cash flow at all, then I'd be eating that ticket. So, like,
Suddenly it adds up.
well, all of a sudden it's like it's
You get
it's
some fees and taxes in there.
$25,500 just to rock tickets to the game, and now we're looking at $3,000 in hotel and $3,000, $4,000 in airfare, and now we're $34,000 in, and we haven't even done anything, and so like my wife's like, just do it, and I'm like, listen, I love you. I love the support. But, dropping this kind of Skrilla, if you will, on a Super Bowl, while it's like a dream come true Super Bowl for me, I just can't fork over that kind of cash. So listen, if you have $8,500 and you want to go to the game and you want to pay your own way and you want somebody to pal around with,
go for it.
Come on, I'll go with you. We'll hang out. We'll have a good time. I'll enjoy that.
Your take is
I'm going 49ers, baby.
all right. He's got 49ers. I got Chiefs because I can't bet against Mahomes.
I also don't want to bet against Mahomes because I'm
publicly stated.
Yes, it's publicly stated that I'm absolutely pulling for the 49ers in this game. I'm not going to welsh on that or backpedal on that. What I think the score of the game is going to be is 23-17 Kansas City.
Okay. It'll be like 24-20 or something like that. I don't know. But
17-23 KC, you've heard it right here.
Let's get back into
What do you think the score is going to be?
24-20.
24-20
KC.
for KC?
Yep. Because you can't bet against the magician. Mahomes.
He's won what, 2 Super Bowls?
Yep, 2-1 in Super Bowls right now. But let's dive back into the topic at hand, and that is hives. What kind of hives should you get? There's a lot of options. You may not know that. Typically, in America, so we're going to present some hives that are used, known here in the States. Outside the States, there are some other options, but typically they all are similar to the Langstroth hive. We'll get to that one here, but we want to present a few of the maybe lesser known ones. You mentioned the flow hive earlier. The flow hive is a rather new style of hive. It's similar to the Langstroth, where it's got boxes set on top of each other. However, this one is trying to revolutionize honey harvesting. And so they have their own manufactured comb that you put in a box where you can see through a side of the box. And when that fills up with honey, you can turn a knob and honey will flow out of a tube into whatever jar you put down. It's a pretty cool invention, trying to revolutionize honey extracting. But, there's pros and cons to it, like anything else.
It's the most common hive in the U.S.
The Langstroth is the most common, but it kind of builds off of the Langstroth. It adds to
the Langstroth. Langstroth is the most popular, right? Most common.
Yeah. So with the flow hive.
Oh, we're talking about flow hives?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Langstroth hives.
No. Flow hive. It is the most expensive.
Yes, the flow hive. It's like the little Mexican villa.
Sure.
It's got a window.
It looks cool. I'm not
got a couple of
Lie.
doors.
It's the most expensive though.
Put a little cocktails on the cocktail reader.
Yep. You can expect to drop anywhere from at least $650 for the hive itself to $800 or $900, depending on what model you get.
I will not be buying those hives.
Yeah, so it's tough if you want to do like a commercial operation with those. They're pretty expensive. They're cool. There's a little bit of controversy. Some people believe it promotes bee having, not beekeeping. Creates a laziness in the beekeeper because you can get your honey whenever you want mentality and you don't actually care for the bees. That's some of the controversy around it. I don't have too much of an opinion on it right now, but not everybody loves it. But it is.
I
make
wonder
for some
this
easier
comment
management.
on caring about the bees. Like, I mean, I don't even know how that's relevant. I would just want to say that I think that that's nonsense. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay, tell me why.
If you were to let your bees go, like, hey, be free.
Yep.
They would die.
Yep.
Piece number 2, drones are sent out of the hive. They're literally carried out of the hive and murdered.
Okay. Yes.
It's mass genocide.
It's a natural process. As a man,
I'm
that
just
sucks.
saying, if we're like, you don't care for the bees, you don't care for the bees, you don't care for the bees.
Well,
like
the critique,
the truth of the matter is, do we care about the bees, or do we care about the pollination from the bees, and do we care about the honey that's produced from the bees and the wax that's produced from the bees?
well, yes.
Do we really care about the little tiny itty bitty bee that's going to get thrown out into the wolves and be murdered by his own family anyways? I mean, what the frick are we talking about here?
The critique is more of not inspecting for issues in the hive, such as varroa, or checking
This
on
hive
if
has a
the
window in
queen, if the queen is alive and doing well.
I want to remind you that bees will kill their own queen.
Yeah. So you do have to get in and check. Is she alive? Are they still laying new brood? Some people think that it creates a laziness.
Speaking of brood, did you look up the bee hawk I told you about?
I did Google it slightly. Yeah.
What was the name of it exactly?
I think it was like bee killer.
There's
a bird that just kills bees for fun.
It wants to eat the brood. It loves the brood. That's what it's going after. So like it'll hit a hornet's nest, and it's got special taloned claws. These things are vicious, by the way, and they are meant to pull the hive apart.
Interesting.
Like it just goes.
For those listening, he just reenacted what the bird would look like
with my human face. I made my lips into a beak.
Check it out, YouTube, Facebook, wherever, and watch that. At least watch that.
You know, like if I was going to be a transformer, I would definitely want to fly.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
I can see that. There's some other hives though. One is called a skep. It's very very old school. Basically, it's like a wicker basket.
This is like what friars and monks would have used.
Yeah, people a long time before the Langstroth hive became the predominant hive. This was used, and you could hang it up, kind of like a plant basket. Now you hang it up.
Bees have to die to get the honey in this, don't they?
Yeah.
So
to get the honey out of this,
is this controversial too?
It's not allowed to be used anymore.
Oh, this is banned.
It's banned. Yeah.
So you can't even get this hive.
You might be able to buy it as like a decoration, but you are not allowed to keep bees in it because
who regulates this? Is the bee police going to come by and lock me down?
I don't know.
Are we going to get Jodie Foster on True Detective kicking down the doors and saying,
in order to get honey out of this hive, you have to kick the bees out of the hive, which means they're not going to survive the winter.
Why not just let the hive float, swarm, if you will,
just like hang out outside, extract them back in,
and then put them into a new hive.
I mean, you could potentially bounce them between two skeeps, I guess. I don't know.
Why not go from a skeep into a Langstroth hive?
Well, just use Langstroth to begin with.
But maybe you want this really old school.
Well, it's not really
Friar
allowed.
Tuck,
so
Robin Hood.
If you want to go live as a monk and try it, I guess be my guest. But I wouldn't use it.
But this is illegal.
It's illegal.
We're gonna start the bee police.
Yep.
Yeah. What kind of hive do you have in your backyard?
Not steep.
That hive is illegal. We're gonna have to have you put your hands on top of the hive, and we're gonna check you for weapons. Do you have anything sharp on you? Yeah, a few stingers. What's going on, pal?
As we mentioned, the Langstroth, that is the most common hive. It's the boxes that you're going to see in most bee yards.
Scott does not want to talk about going to jail.
Nah, I'm not trying to go there today. Or really ever. Don't want to spend time there. But the Langstroth, most common, So with most beekeepers, when you're learning, you're going to learn based off of the Langstroth hive. So I highly recommend getting that.
This is the type of hive that we have.
Yep.
This is our
Almost everyone's
our
gonna have
go-to. We have several hundred of these hives laying around.
Yeah, and you can get them as like 3 different size boxes, deeps, which is what most like commercial people, or at least what your bottom box will be. Mediums, it's kind of like half of a deep, or maybe it's 2/3. Easier to lift because when they're full of honey, they can get very, very heavy, up to 80 pounds or more. And
what is the deal with
supers, the
people
shallows.
not liking it? As it's not natural. Why is it considered not natural? What is the deal there?
And most beehives are not considered natural hives, right? It's the fact that you're having bees build on a frame rather than just like an open space. Like if they're in nature and they were like in a tree trunk, a hollowed out tree, they could build in that tree however they wanted.
Right. But bees will also just like hook up to a branch and
exactly
have a dripping pile of honey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
so
they're not the smartest creatures in the world when it comes to
like
hive
location
creation.
wise. Yeah. So, I mean, there's some people who critique it as it's not natural, but ultimately it's one of the best ways to actually care
Why
for
is
the
there
bees.
always a Karen everywhere you go?
The world's just full of different people.
That's an interesting answer, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it feels like there's always one. There's just one insane person everywhere you go. Like,
yeah, you know what? They're
just angry. They're just not
and that's
happy.
just okay.
They just want to give everybody a bad time.
You know what you say to them? Have a great day. You move on because my time's not worth it.
Be happy.
With 2 E's.
Here's what I say: Hakuna Matata to the end of my days. Was that right?
That's not at all right.
Okay, how does it go? Hakuna Matata.
We're not singing.
No. I just want to know how it goes.
What a wonderful phrase.
Yeah.
What does it go?
What a wonderful
phrase.
Hakuna Matata. What a
Ain't
wonderful
no
phrase.
passing craze.
Ain't no passing craze.
It means no worries.
No worries.
For the rest of your
For
days.
the rest of your days.
Get it, Ralph.
It's a problem-free
It's a problem.
philosophy.
Philosophy.
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata. That was freaking awesome, guys.
There we go.
I just want to say we actually crushed. We crushed that.
Ralph.
So listen.
I'm gonna
Whoa.
pass that to Ralph.
Whoa. I was there too, man.
You were.
I was there
amazing.
too. I was there
Okay.
too. Like
Good job.
I'm the Michael Jackson of this thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I can't wait to see the moonwalk.
Well, with my ankle, I'm not doing any moonwalking. But you know, I don't know. I'll let you be I don't know who you're going to be, Ralph. But we killed that. So what I want to say to all the Karens out there, Hakuna Matata for the rest of your days. Just be cool, man. Just be chill.
No worries.
Don't be a jerk. Like,
Yep.
Life is already hard. Don't be one of those people that everybody hates.
Mm.
You know people that everybody hates. Like there's that one guy, and it's like everybody hates that one guy or that one girl.
Yeah.
It's true.
You just be more chill.
Yeah, be more chill. It's like they're
Chill
the
out a
person you're
little
like, oh my gosh, here comes the riot act. We're using the flow hive. They're such haters. Oh, we have a skep. It's illegal. We're going to send you to jail. Oh, the Landstroth hive is not natural. Like, what hive do you want me to use? How do you want me to do this here?
Another common-ish one is called the top bar or long.
I was trying to guess
horizontal
which
long
one you
hive.
were going to do, whether you're going to go with the ware hive or the top bar hive.
The top bar, I think it's cool looking. Essentially,
It looks like a
It's-
bench.
it's just it's like a bench. It's a long box that
Do not sit on it.
don't sit on it. It's probably going to be above bench height, by the way.
Don't sit on it in shorts.
Yeah.
Unless you are a Karen.
Especially loose
the
shorts.
top of it sometimes can be domed, sometimes it's more flat. But
Hakuna Matata.
The cool thing about the top bar hive
To the
is
end of my
it allows
days.
for a lot of space for the bees to just live and make comb however they want.
Everything we're doing here is Lion King based.
Then it would be like
This is the top bar. This is where Akuna would live.
Akuna?
Yeah, he's one of the guys, right? Singing the song.
No, that's Timon and Pumbaa.
Timon?
Timon, the meerkat, Pumbaa, the warthog.
Timon and Pumbaa sing this song.
You got to watch that movie because you ain't getting the names right.
Timon, no, I'm just trying to expose. I'm just trying to expose you as a cartooner.
I've been exposed, and I own it. We own it up here.
Hey, my favorite movie is The Lion King. Come by a Top Bar Hive. We'll put our.
The thing, well,
We're gonna
top bar hives are rare, so it's hard to get equipment for them compared to like a
But
Langstroth.
they're physically easier on the beekeeper.
They are because you don't have to do a lot of bending down and lifting with you do with a Langstroth or most other hives. So you just kind of open up the top, look in. Although it can be hard to extract honey and such, you know, because you don't have a frame you're pulling out.
Which
So-
makes mentoring hard too.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of people have experience rocking this bad boy.
So
I wonder
Especially
if we
if you're
should just,
learning,
I
I
wonder if we
wouldn't
should get
pursue
one
that.
just for fun. I wonder if we should have one of each of these just for fun with bees in it.
just for fun, maybe. Yeah. So the top bar looks cool. I think it's challenging though to actually use and to learn well from. So, and the last major-ish one is called a ware hive, Warre. And this one, counter to the Langstroth, where the Langstroth you build on top, you put new boxes on top. This one you build down, and you kind of start with this triangle canopy-ish top that's hollowed
It
out.
looks like
and you
a
build
house
down
in
from
the
there.
Alps.
It very well could be.
It just looks like this, right? These are the pyramid houses.
Yep.
They got a good second floor. If you're first floor, if you're one of the people who gets a bedroom in the second floor, you're absolutely screwed because if you have to go to your bed, you're most likely going to bump your head because the roof is so
Gotcha. Yeah.
pointed. This is a
Like a
horrible
teepee.
thing to do. And I actually have experienced this in a house before. It's horrible.
Hmm.
If you're on the second floor, first floor is fine. What I want to say is that this beehive looks like a house in the Alps. That's all I'm going to say.
So it's meant to mimic like a hollowed out tree.
Yeah.
Similar, like the top bar kind of does that
Although
in a
it looks
long
nothing
way.
like a tree.
No, not at all. It's just the inside being hollow. That's the whole point. And then you build down. So I've never seen anyone actually use this, but from what I've gathered,
There's no frames.
you can put frames on boxes below that allow bees to go down below. However,
It must be really hard to extract honey.
yeah, I could imagine it being hard to lift the top, the actual ware hive itself is typically a two-man job because it's so big and so heavy.
Wow.
So that can make inspections hard. That can make extraction hard. You know, everything you got to do around it's probably like a two-person job. So it's not a very well or not very thoroughly kept. Not a lot of people use it because of that. But it is
So,
kind of cool looking.
if
It
we're
is
making a
more-
recommendation-
more natural potentially.
If we're making a
But-
recommendation, what's the hive?
If you're
to go
new,
with?
if you're new, get the Langstroth.
Get the Langstroth.
Everyone else is probably going to have that. That's what you're going to learn from. You can get supplies easier from doing that.
Yep.
You can learn a lot easier from doing that. If you're well experienced, feel free to try other things out. I will say, critique I've heard with the flow hive is a lot of it is temperature based. Something here like Western Washington, where it's colder and
Which is
moist,
why I said it's
It's
a Mexican
hard.
hacienda.
it is hard to actually extract that honey out the tubes. So consider that when you're looking to purchase. Yeah, and feel free to ask us questions on these things, and there's a lot of great resources on them as well. But I would recommend a Langstroth. Get a deep,
All
then
right.
build off of that.
We're bringing this thing in for a landing. I'm going to do a quick recap here for you. 1, watch True Detective Season 4. It's a good show. That's piece number 1. Piece number 2, we're going for the San Francisco 49ers, but
Chiefs.
We believe that the Kansas City Chiefs may win this game 17-23. Scott the Beekeeper is fully pulling for the Chiefs and is going for the victory. I don't know that Scott the Beekeeper will ever go for the same football team that I'm going for.
As a Hawks fan, I have obligations to root against the 49ers in all circumstances.
With the fact that his Oregon Beavers got smashed. I'm just kidding. They're such a crappy team. I didn't even say their real name. I said the Beavers. I know they're the Ducks. I mean, this sucks.
The insult that was just given.
If I was in an inappropriate podcast, I might put an F in front of the...
For fantastic.
No, I only know 4-letter words. So I just want to say that go Niners. That's what I'm gonna pitch here on this. Hopefully, this thing will air before the Super Bowl, and it won't be like after the Super Bowl, and it'll be like, "Hey, you guys are a bunch of idiots."
For the fun.
And then just real quick, we've got the Top Bar Hive, which is it's a nice hive. It's easier on the beekeeper. It's a more natural way of keeping bees, but it's not very popular, so hard to find parts, hard for mentorship. We've got the Ware Hive, which is built to mimic a hollowed out tree. It's a very nice hive. Looks like a home in the Alps. We've got the Flow Hive, which there is some controversy about it because of the windows and the look, and it is very expensive, $650, $900, whatever it might cost. I call it the Mexican Hacienda. We've got the Skep, which is a very old school way of keeping bees. Do not keep bees in this. It's like some kind of wicker straw basket. It looks like it should be in the Blair Witch Project. And it is no longer legal to keep bees in that particular hive any longer. And then we've got our favorite, which is the Landstroth hive, the standard modern hive, which is what you should probably do. It's the most common hive in the United States. It comes in 10 or 8 frames. That is what we have accomplished today. Have you ever seen the Blair Witch Project?
No, although I know of it.
Scary.
Is it scary?
Yeah.
It actually is scary.
I don't do scary well.
It's all right.
Except
You forgot one thing.
What did I forget?
The recap.
Oh,
Hakuna Matata.
I'm going to just be your backup singer. Hakuna Matata. Don't be a Karen. That's the last piece of this thing.
And don't be a Karen.
Don't be a Karen.
Be chill.
That's where we're going to end the show. That's where we're going to end it. Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata.
Backpacking.
Catch you guys later.
Blair Witch.
Have a great day.
Talk soon. See you next week.